What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Zach's Live Trader. Here with you as always, I am the People's Champ of Wall Street, the bearded boy wonder Dave Bartosiak, and today, my friends, we are rocking and rolling along with the rest of retail. Man, you know, early on when I used to do these, I used to get a little salty. I'd get salty if, stock didn't go my way, right? Partly because early on I didn't do a good enough job educating people, I think. So I got, especially the first few, when stuff would go wrong, I would get all sorts of salt sent my way. Now we've got a pretty good crew. Obviously, you guys, regulars, Kurt, Paul, Mr. Wallace, amongst others. And you guys know, Mr. Williams, how you doing? You guys know, what's up, right? And the other part about it is, even in my talks here, like yesterday's show, I pointed out I think there's about a 20% chance that Finish Line or Foot Locker kills it, and an 80% chance that it doesn't. And then for that 20% rather, if it kills it, I was like, you should get rewarded. You should buy an out of the money call spread, right? So the reason I'm doing that is not because I want to be one of these CNBC guys that straddles the fence and says they're always right, because I'm flat out not. I'm wrong, right? And we know I'm wrong all the time. We have the good, the bad, the ugly. I go back, I cover it, you know. But one time I had a guy ask me, how could you be so completely and utterly wrong about this, right? And I guess the answer is, this is exactly why we use options to trade these things, because these are the great unknowns. Kurt, I'm going to use you as an example here, buddy, because we were talking about this yesterday, right? You asked about and I'm not picking on you, just so you know. But you know I'm not picking on you. You'll know when I'm picking on you. I'm not picking on you right now. One of the things I said was, you don't ever want to just go short into earnings, because you can get destroyed on these spikes. Guys, fade this thing. Fade it. We got to fade this, right? Sorry. I mean, just interrupt and fade. This has got to be faded. This is the most obvious fade that I've seen. We got to fade this. For sure. Got to fade this. Got into this gap a little bit. How much you guys want to bet this 36.80? I think Finish Line comes down to 36.80. This way. I don't think this thing lasts forever. It's been so long since we've been given a gift like this. Wait for another move to the VWAP. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe you don't even have to wait for the VWAP, but just go. I don't think it gets anywhere close to here, but 36.80s. I wouldn't be surprised if we started to get back in here. Anyway, so sorry. What I was talking about with Kurt, I was asking you, hey, what if I just went short? And you don't want to just do that, because if you're wrong, this would happen. So let's say you were short 100 shares of Foot Locker, and let's say you got in at 32.26. Let's say you top ticked it yesterday, right? 32.26. This morning it's at 39.44 minus the 32.26, right? Times 100 shares, you'd be down $718, right? Okay. Now on the flip side, yeah, RIP feet, buddy. On the flip side, what was our net debit yesterday? What was it, like 120 or something like that? Sorry, I don't have that number in front of me. Let's call it 150. I mean, if it was 150, it's 150, right? Yeah, Mike, we're singing the blues here. So, this is why we use options for this, guys. This is why. This is why. This is exactly why. Days like this. Okay, but here's the other thing. What the hell is this? They open AMAT at 60 and they've dragged it all the way back down to 57? Oh, man. I should have brought the antacids this morning, not coffee. That's incredible. Holy smokes. What the heck is going on here? Yeah, what a fade is right. Somebody's not happy about that conference call. Wow. Was the Nikkei down last night? I can't get the Nikkei on this stupid thing anymore. I used to be able to get Nikkei. Does this give me anything? No, I used to be able to get the Nikkei here. I don't get any Nikkei. Somebody, anybody, I need some Nikkei action. I'm gonna pull up something else here. Let's do this. Who last night? Was this last night? Started up, and then the risk off. No, I can't blame the Nikkei for this one. Either way, digging out of an early hole on the S&P 500. This has been the theme. This has been the theme. See, Jeff, this is the thing, though. We can do that. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with that. And as we're getting out of earnings season, I think absolutely it should be more opportunistic. And that's why early on we were just doing earnings, because we know that these are events. These are risk events, right? Tesla, man. This is probably a good fade today, too. Happy about the trucks. He is the king of the hype machine over there, Elon, isn't he? Definitely good with the hype machine. My stream went down last night. I was trying to watch it. Anybody else watch the Tesla stream last night? Did you watch it live? Or did you wake up this morning and go, what? I mean, I did both. I tried watching it live. I got to, like, the truck unveil. Went to sleep. And then I woke up this morning and I saw the Roadster. Exactly. Hefe. The Roadster. Hefe. The Roadster. Wow. 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 Yeah, that was super cool. We knew there was going to be some kind of surprise, or at least Hefe did. I thought it was going to be an Amazon partnership, but that Roadster, I was with you on that one, Hefe, or maybe they're partnering with Amazon for these trucks. But the Roadster really just floored everyone. Absolutely gorgeous. And 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. Well, 0 to 100 miles an hour, 100 kilometers per hour, which is something like 62.3 miles per hour or something like that. 62.1, somewhere, 63 point, somewhere around there. Ferrari, man, I mean, different brand, right? If you're looking, nobody buys Ferraris for performance anymore. They buy it for the driving experience and the heritage. Ferrari hasn't been at the pinnacle of performance since, I don't know, the early 2000s, really. I mean, McLaren eats their lunch every day. And I don't, you know what, I don't want to be so down on Ferrari. I mean, trust me, I love Ferrari. I am admittedly saving for a Ferrari. Not a new one, because I don't want to take the depreciation hit, but a 360 Modena, if I could find one with the gated manual, that would be great. 430. Something like this. Any thoughts on the AMAT fade today? You know, AJ, sometimes you get head scratchers. This is something we haven't seen in a while. And we're going to get back. All right. I almost need to have like a running tally of the stuff we're going to talk about. So I'm going to touch on AMAT again here. In previous quarters, we haven't seen it so much this quarter, but we would have this situation where a stock would come out on earnings, and I'm going to add volume here so you can see. So an earnings report would come out, the stock would kill it, you would get this big spike up, and then they would fade it the whole day, right? And you would say, what the heck is going on? Well, look at this. Here we are, 45 minutes into the trading session, and this is already traded 8.6 million. 8.6 million shares. So the thinking was that a hedge fund that's a little bit too overweight, or hedge fund or a mutual fund that feels like they're too overweighted in this stock, will wait for a very high liquidity day like earnings to start to trim some of their holdings. So these stocks would have good reports and they would be selling into these. Which is why, using the Zacks analysis, we try to get that post-earnings drift, okay? So that first day necessarily isn't the best, right? We don't get the best. That's why a lot of people will make the argument that you just wait till after the earnings report. So if you're on the sidelines looking in and you see AMAT do something like this, then this is like a great buying opportunity for you. Because these guys will come in, they'll sell a bunch, they'll trim their position, and then eventually you'll see it'll get traction and start to take off throughout the course of the day. So that's what happens, okay? And then you're just kind of left waiting for, you know, the bottom. And it sucks when you're long the stock or long an option. But that's also why I try not to do just that front week, right? There's been lots of times where our trades have gone against us in day one and then come back. And that's why I try to teach the patience in the GBU, because the way that our analysis is, it's about that earnings trend. It doesn't guarantee that that first day is going to go our way. You got to just, you know, you got to woo-saw a little bit, right? This is why I do a lot of credit spreads, because then, you know, if this goes up, down, whatever, it's good for you when you're in a credit spread, because you're short that implied volatility anyway. So that's where we're at with this one. Okay. I don't think you should freak out and head for the exits. I think this is a, you know, selling on today. I don't think this is a huge negative here. Okay. So I'm gonna check off AMAT there, right? Check off AMAT. Do we wanna? We're gonna look at Ferrari real quick, okay? I think Ferrari. I was saying this before. The stock, the run is done. In the short term now, I think. When this happened, when it came underneath that 50-day, that's a concern. I think Ferrari gets to the 200-day. Now, they're looking for 1 billion euros, right, of EBITDA. Okay? Or maybe just EBIT. I don't know if they were added that too. Huh. Interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, right? I'm having some serious deja vu this morning. That's weird. Yeah, Hefe. I think it gets to 200 day. So they're looking for that billion euros. They sold a lot of V12s last quarter, right? Because they... Sorry, guys. I'm making all sorts of noise today. I didn't take my allergy pill last night. South Florida's getting me, guys. Anyway. Lots of V12s because the California production, so that's their V8 hard top Fiat piece of... There's an N in California. I'm not a fan of the California. Anyway, so they stopped selling that because the Portofino is coming out, right? The successor to the California. So they had to shut down the production. So that's why they were selling a bunch of V12s in China. And then the other V12s, like the other V8s, like the 488, made up for a good chunk of the other production. Anywho, the market doesn't look like it's appreciating Ferrari very much. And with it below the 50-day, that's a concern for me. Perhaps the $100 level provides some sort of support. I would draw a fib here. This is probably likely a temporary stop. Next stop, 103. I just, you know, with so many good stock stories out there, and this has run up so much, I really get concerned when you start trading underneath that 50-day. Support, nope. That's a concern. So I'm a little worried about Ferrari. Well, we'll see. All right, so there's Ferrari. What's happening with Tesla here? Look at Tesla under the 200-day, heading into this. Is this going to be enough to push Tesla on through the 200-day? They pushed it to the 200. This is a good test. So today, the value to watch on Tesla is 321.98. Tesla closes below 321.98, then your truck and Roadster unveiling was not enough. So that's the level to watch. 321.98. Okay? Alright. And what are they doing here? They're fading it. They're fading it, Hefe. Speaking of fading, I think the finish line fade is on. Now, here's a way to... And you don't ever want to get into this situation where you're like, you know, angry, trying to gain revenge on the market. This is probably useless to show you this because these are delayed. Not Tesla. Now, I'm going to sound like a madman, okay? And I know this. This can't be. This is all messed up. Somebody give me a real time. A real time. Where's the 30? Where's the 38 put trading right now on Foot Locker? I could pull it up. It's gonna take me a couple minutes to pull it up though, but probably quicker just to ask you guys. Where's the 38 put that expires today on Foot Locker? That might be a good way to play that. Because again, you got to compare that to going short, right? Where's the 38 put? Brian Bolin! How you doing, buddy? 60 cents? 40 cents? Jump on that. Jump on it. I can think of a way worse way to lose $40 today. I can think of a way dumber way to lose $40 today. I'm probably going to lose $40 taking my girlfriend to lunch later because you know she's going to spend at least that much. Even when we go to Applebee's and trying to get the twofer, she's got to get, I got to get the dollar sangria. And then she gets 3 of them. And then, got to get dessert or got to get an appetizer. Every time it's a $2 upgrade for the grilled vegetables. Every time. The 2 for $20 is never a twofer. I always spend $40. Doesn't make any sense. So I'd much rather roll the dice on those. That looks great. I think it gets into this gap a little bit. Like I said, 3680s. I think it comes back to 3680s. That's a... Or maybe even be able to do something with the spread. Where's the 39 and then sell the 38 or the 37 or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. And a gift card, yeah. And I need a gift card. Bolin, did you play this? So we're talking Foot Locker fade right now. Tesla fade right now. Holy AMAT. AMAT's bouncing. I think we could play the bounce in AMAT right now. So there you go, gents. Now where are some calls on AMAT here? Gotta wait to see what happens in this VWAP though. Right? I think it can cross that VWAP. Eventually this market comes to its senses and this continues. So fading Tesla. Oh, that's right. The Bolinator played the Splunk. That's right. I forgot about that. Who else got in the Splunk? Hefe, you were talking about this yesterday, right? Look at what Splunk did, guys. Look at the gap. Gap and gone. See you later. On the Splunk. Still got Still got it. Still got it going. I don't know if I'd be looking to fade Splunk. Eventually, right? Now you got to be careful as these. Now remember, guys, I got this Thug Pink up here. This is absolutely irrelevant right now, right? This is a when you drop your time frame on these charts, it drops the time frame on everything. So instead of a 200-day moving average, this is now a 200-minute moving average, which is completely irrelevant. 50 becomes a 50-minute, so just irrelevance that happens here. The VWAP is the VWAP, right? As long as you're on an intraday, the VWAP is going to be right. Oh, I was buying. I was talking about buying there. I was talking about buying, Hefe. Just buying because, all right, now, this is a good thing. So I was talking about the 38 put, right? And we had it pegged at 40 cents. Okay. Now we're going to do the math on this. Going long this put, right? Long. So then, wow, look at that. She's moving. So if you're long that put, right? Max loss, 40. Max win, unlimited, right? Potentially unlimited. Okay. Now compare that to being short 100 shares, where now your max loss is unlimited. Well, I guess your max win here technically isn't unlimited. It's $3,800, right? Your max loss here is unlimited, and your max win is also 3,800. So look at the difference between being short 100 shares, and this is for a day trade, right? Versus being long the put. $40 versus unlimited, okay? But there's one more thing that you have to compare here, and that's the break even. So the break even on your 38 put is going to be 30. So yeah, we're talking about today, Kurt. We were talking about today. 37.60, right? Would be your break even, whereas your break even on this trade would have been, I think we were 38.50 at the time. So herein line, that's where the rub is, okay? But this is break even at expiration, so that's assuming you're sticking around with it all day. As we've been talking, we're already seeing it. Look at this. Midpoint at 57. We were just talking about 40, and now we're already saying it's at 57. So you could either linger, or you could just rip it. 17 on, so that's what, 40%, guys? 42%? $42, 42.5% you could have made. How appropriate, Wild Bill, that you're saying hi from Vegas and we're talking about buying puts that expire today. So that's a good way to play the fade, okay? Now, you don't have to sit there and linger so that your time value goes to 0. When it's moving, you can rip it anytime in between, and that's how you do these, right? If it was a $40 thing, you probably buy a couple of them, a few of them, right? Most people. Let's say you bought 5 contracts. So that's only $200 worth of risk. And then when it, you know, if you put one out at 60, 300, you can make $100. Or you put it further down, whatever you want to do. You wait for another move to the VWAP, buy it again. Ooh, 60 cents, huh? 50 cents. So we'll see, guys. May the fade continue. Because you look at Finish Line or Foot Locker, you guys, what was in that report that they should be up 22% today? You know? And you're going to get little temporary blips to the upside. My suggestion when you're buying those puts, if you're long these puts, you got to almost set it and forget it, right? Don't forget it all day, but here we are an hour into the session. See where it's at in another hour. And then rip. Because what's going to happen is inevitably they tick up a little bit. Right? If it starts to tick up a little bit, you can't freak out and just bail. Because that's a good way to turn 60 into 40 into 20. And then it ends up coming right back. So, have a little patience. Know that you don't have a lot of money at risk. And your risk parameter is already set. Right? It's not like being short the stock. There you go, Bolin. That's a good way to play it. You just throw your offer out there. You guys see what Bolin did? So you instantly fill, right? And then you instantly throw your offer out there too. So that you don't have to be timing it perfectly. You don't have to sit there and, you know, throw out an order when the market starts to get there. You just throw it out there, and then maybe they'll come take you. So while you're off doing something else, looking at whatever, you get, boom, order filled pops up, and you go, wait, what happened? And you made money. Okay? A nice little low-stress way to trade. You already clearly defined how much money you have on the table, $300. How very blackjack of you. You know, I'm sure Wild Bill can appreciate that right now, whatever he's doing out there. Wild Bill, are you at the table? Are you playing cards? Are you rolling dice? Are you at the sports book? We need more out of Wild Bill. Are you surrounded by bunnies at a ranch and you can't really talk about it? What's going on out there, Wild Bill? Let's just hope he doesn't have aces and eights. We know what happened to the other Wild Bill with aces and eights. See, there he goes. You don't even worry about it. You just put it there, because the way they move so quickly, it won't matter. This thing could jump down real quick, boom, you're filled, and you don't worry about it. Okay? And sitting here and looking at tick by tick by tick by tick by tick, no good. They should let you use your phone at the tables. So I guess you can't use like Google Glass or anything either, huh? They don't want you calculating. All right, so there's Foot Locker. What's happening with AMAT? Oh, look at AMAT. Are we gonna have a bottom in AMAT? 5707. So you got to watch here and see if they're going to come back down to 5707, if it's going to break, or if they're going to bite. Wild Bill, you just do plus and minus? Do you just plus or minus with, you know, in the face cards versus the non-face cards, and then that gives you that kind of confidence? Or are you even more sophisticated than that? Just wondering. I mean, I won't tell anybody. And you're going under the pseudonym Wild Bill, so. 5690 is the low here. 5690. So you keep an eye, see if AMAT gets there, if it bounces, or if it breaks. Woo, square. Wowzers. Man. You know why? You know why, Ballin? Hefe knows why. Where's your overstock? So now the Bitcoin trade, if you're not going to buy Bitcoin outright, your Bitcoin trade includes overstock and includes Square. Yeah, Square, I mean, this is the kind of stuff you guys want to look for, okay? Think about the anatomy of Square. Oh, you put it in Tech Innovators, huh? Yeah. When you look at the price consensus on Square, it's just, you know, to the upside, and you know there's so much growth, and Square Capital is going to be a big thing. They're going to get a lot of revenue from lending, and they have so much transaction data that they are able to lower their risk at the same credit quality. And then, or at least that they can sell that, and then they can package it up and make money on that. Oh yeah, it was. It is. It's still in home run, right? Bolin, you didn't sell it in home run. I don't think you did. 7 hands. Wild Bill playing 7 hands of, like, you're an animal. Like the Bobby Fischer of gambling. Why is my mom calling me? Why didn't mom just call? What's going on? Huh. It's weird. Wow, what a move out of Square. So, the big winners today, Square, Splunk, Tesla. Ah, see? They're still fading that Tesla. Faded it. Hefe, they're still fading Tesla. Yeah, we're getting futures. Oh, this was an interest. So I had a, I had a pretty good, okay, so lots of things to talk about here, Hefe. First, I had a pretty good podcast with Cooker, about Bitcoin. I thought it was pretty good. And one of the things we asked about was, are we getting Bitcoin 20,000? He's 20,000 before zero was the question, and I was like, absolutely, we're getting 20,000 before zero, because zero's not going to happen. Okay, zero's just not going to happen. There's the link to the. Oh, that's an ugly link, but there's a link nonetheless. To the chat. Not the chat. There's a link to the podcast. Sorry. So we talk about a bunch of stuff. This Segwit 2 fork. I got that email this morning that a few miners are actually trying to pursue that fork, and that the Coinbase network would be like, we wouldn't be allowed to buy or sell Bitcoin for a few hours. We can't do it now, I don't think, while that's happening. So they think it's probably the Segwit, the forked network is likely to just fail, though, because they don't think that many people are going to go through on that blockchain. But we'll see. If enough miners adopt it and are confirming transactions, then perhaps it'll be its own thing. So we'll see. See, I'm learning, Hefe. Learning all about it, man. Absolutely. As much, I know you guys obviously learned some stuff from me in the videos, but I learned stuff from you guys too, man. Especially with the Bitcoin stuff, man. Dr. Paul and Hefe, you guys, I've learned a lot because of you guys talking and questions that you've asked, and then you make me research stuff, so I gotta learn. So it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So CME, I mean, this is the thing. Look at just the long play on CME. Like, it doesn't even matter if when Bitcoin, eventually Bitcoin's coming. So they're talking the second week in December as potential for the launch of that Bitcoin contract on the CME. This is true. And Dr. Paul, you've been getting into the ICOs. I'm still trying to get into that kind of stuff. I have noticed that while my Bitcoin goes through the roof, my Ethereum just kind of plods along. I think I'm barely in the green on my Ethereum now. Where my Bitcoin, I mean, I wasn't an early adopter. My first Bitcoin I bought at 3,800. So that's still, you make you feel like a champion. The question I wanted to ask you guys, the crypto guys, is what do you think the impact's going to be of the CME contract? Is it going to create more or less volatility in Bitcoin? My thoughts with regards to Bitcoin and the CME, I thought that the cash market is going to cripple the futures market. What I mean by that is I think the volatility in the cash market is going to surpass the daily range limits on the CME group, because the whole point of Bitcoin is no, you're not reeling us in with some kind of centralized set of rules. This is going to purely be supply and demand driven in a decentralized network, and you don't get to reel us in. You don't get to set a range and expectations. You're not going to be able to do that. Cooker argued that the CME would allow for more sophisticated arbitrage systems in place, which would then just create enough of a market force in order to set Bitcoin straight. I don't think that Bitcoin operates the way that these other currencies operate. When you're talking about, let's say, the euro versus the US dollar, right? People entering in the futures contracts for the euro versus the US dollar are big banks and huge financial institutions that need to hedge their currency risk. Okay? So that's who's in that marketplace. Who's hedging their Bitcoin risk with the CME group? I don't think you have guys coming in and hedging huge risk. It's not like you're taking, you've got bond issuance in Bitcoin and you're hedging against the currency risk. It just, I don't know. I was having a tough time wrapping my mind around who would be entering that market. And I know we're talking super high level stuff right now, but okay, I'll get back to, I'll stop pontificating from my nerd pit here. HIIQ, son of a gun. 20-25 call spread. Closed it for a profit. Nice. Look at these guys. All of a sudden, they're above the 50 and the 200 day. You know what was kind of painfully ironic here? I was forced to close these out in home run. And this is the day I closed them. I bottom ticked it. And I even said, hey, this is the bottom tick of this. And you guys should stay long. I basically told everybody they should stay long. Because the story is gone here. Right, this is all stupidity. We already know this. So eventually this thing gets back to 37. And we forget about this. Glad to hear you finished in the green there, Kurt. Or at least, yeah. I think that was like the free cheese play. It should be. What's happening to your finish line, Ballin? Oh, it's running in your face. Let's see what happens to the VWAP. VWAP's going to give another opportunity for guys who aren't in it to get short again. Yeah, we'll see what happens. See if it gets in as VWAP. All right. What else is on the radar today? We still had AMAT. So AMAT bounced here. Oh, look, new lows, and then it bounced a little bit. This is going to be a tough one. We'll see. Anybody long on that call spread, don't worry about today's price action. We went out a few weeks. I think we'll be okay. The good news is when you're long a call spread and you have this kind of activity, right? Remember, even though you do want this thing to go up, you're still short on the farther end, right? So in some cases, it gives you an opportunity to close out that short and then just allow the long side to run. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll close out the short and I'll double down on the long side. So if I had, 157 and 160 call and it starts to run down like this, I'll close out the 60 call and buy another 57 call, or I'll just buy another 57 call. I still like it because they're going to be cheap now. Wait to see what happens at the VWAP here. Wait to see what happens at the VWAP. And other strikes might get cheaper and more attractive here as you get later in the day. Again, real high risk trade. Let's see what happens at the VWAP. Let's keep this up live here and see. Although I guess I don't have a. This is a little. No, it's bats. No, it's bats. So I've got a 39.95. Kurt, where's your VWAP on your software? Mine's gonna be. This is with the bats info. And yeah, it was Wild Bill puts out. That's why calendars are good, because you get this sort of whipsaw sometimes. Let it go crazy, and you're making money while it's doing that. The reason why I haven't put a lot of calendars in Live Trader is just it's harder. You guys are more advanced, right? So you get it, but I get a lot of new people in Live Trader all the time. So I'm almost like I'm handcuffed where I've got to keep it a little bit easier for people to wrap their minds around and maintain and talk about. Because if I make it too chunky, they just kind of gloss over and it's just too much. So it's almost like I need like beginner days and then like advanced days or intermediate days. All right, let's see. We're live at the VWAP here. What you're hoping for is some action like this, where it gets a little chunky, and then they fade it again. That's what you're hoping for. Chop it around here. And usually, okay, so I've got this up on, just a free platform so you guys can see. Don't have any time and sales data. I don't have any order flow coming in. Let's see. Little chop around there. See if that VWAP holds. Looks like it's breaking a little bit. Bolin, you're just a kiss of death, man. What can I say? See what happens. Look at how weak the volume's gotten, right? It's a very weak volume to the upside. Kissed by death. $0.20, that might be worth a roll of the dice right now. Ah, 200 minute, right, Kurt? It's still under the 200 day though. The 200 day was that level I gave before, that 3 whatever it was. All right, Bowler, we're still rooting for you, man. It's early in the day. Look at how low the volume is. Very low volume. Buying pressure slowing, right? Look at that, slowing. When will it turn? Anybody ever use money flow on a intraday time frame? Just wondering. I know people use CCI on an intraday. We'll see. We'll see. Look at Tesla. They're still fading Tesla. How many of you guys think Tesla goes red before the end of the day? Tesla might be red by the end of the day. Applied Materials, 5742s. 5742s, AMAT. Market's down. Netties, rather. Wow. Paul, it's probably not a bad idea. Good Dr. Paul's going to play poker. Well, all right, gents. I'm hoping Bowling gets some love here. Hoping this chops back and forth. Wow, Square, man. Square don't care. I hope my cousin listened to me. I told him to buy this also. Wowzers. My thought, it's a roll of the dice. It's a roll of the dice, Mike. But it might work. I mean, look, I've been wrong about the fade. Well, early on it wasn't wrong, right? Now it looks like I am wrong. I think they fade it. I think this trails off into the sunset. That's what I think, Mike. So I still think that's a good idea. And look, we're at this VWAP. What you want to see ideally is here at the VWAP, near the VWAP, you get like a big spike in volume, and then you know that we're coming back, right? So I'm still rooting for this to fade a little bit, of course. Where else we at? Boom, 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 Square. Okay. All right, guys. Everybody, I got to get out of here now. Good session, right? Thanks for throwing out all these stocks. Stinks that this Foot Locker trade ran in our face like this, but hey, man, that's the nature of the biz when we're messing around with these options trades on earnings. These are high-risk events, and sometimes that happens. But you control your risk parameters heading into it. And you live to fight another day, so that's good, and yeah. So everybody have a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys find a way to make some bucks today during the session, and that's all I got. So I'll see you guys next week. Throw out those suggestions. Even event suggestions. Jeff, like you were saying, you know, there we go. Black Friday, right? Do we have Black Friday plays? Offhand, I don't have any, Mr. Wallace, but that's a great idea for next week. Black Friday plays. That's a good idea. It's a great idea. So I think we're going to do event-driven. This is going to be event-driven overall, Live Trader. Not just earnings, that's the most obvious event, but just whatever event it is. A Tesla event, Black Friday event, Singles Day, all the above. All right? All right, everybody, that's all I got for you here today on Zach's Live Trader. Thank you so much for all of your contributions. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I will be in the chat. And, yeah, so have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.